All right, welcome back, everybody. It's been over a week since I uploaded a video, and a lot has changed. And so we're going to go ahead and jump right in and cover a couple of things. So as I promised at the end of each month, I would donate whatever had been accumulated for a day to Healing the D and the organization until we get to $1,000 a day. It's going to be Southwest Housing Solutions, right, as you can see here. So I did that. The problem is that because we're still so low, as you can see with our drip, which I'll hydrate here in a minute, it only at the time that I, actually was looking at how much had been accumulated, it was only like $5.60. So I don't want to do that. I went ahead and donated 20 bucks. Again, here's the receipt. I did delete my contact information out in terms of the donation. And again, if you feel the need to, check up on me to see if I'm doing it or not, feel free. But, I did it in honor of the Drip Network. So you can ask about that. But I also asked for, them not to give out my personal information. So anyway, it was 20 bucks instead of $5.60. And I went ahead and compounded that. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that again today. And you can see that we're moving up. I did, by the way, on my main account, which I do at the end of each month, I basically let it ride and accumulate for a day, day and a half. And then I do an airdrop. I did one drip to Healing the D as promised. And then I basically split the remainder between my two referrals that are on there, which is my son and also my brother, Nitro. Shout out to Nitro. Hashtag shout out to Nitro. So anyway, that's what happened there. I just want to give you guys a heads up and we'll move on. And then I'm actually going to switch back after this confirms and just kind of show you my progress and what kind of happened over the weekend with some things. So, and I'm going to cover both of those right now. Basically, and let me actually log out here and then log back into my main account so you can see what's going on. Actually, log out of that account. I always like to disconnect my accounts when I'm not on. So let me connect the wallet again. And then we'll see what's going on here. So just as an FYI, I had some dry powder set aside for the Piston token launch, right? I got in on the MDT1 and MDT2 pre-sale, which is great. Did not get in on the public sale, which was just kind of a cluster, but, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. And by the way, on MDT1, there was a hacker who was trying to take down the system that they had to basically launch MDT2. And so what happened there is that's what, precipitated them launching MDT2, where you had to put in a half a BNB to be able to participate in the pre-sale. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and I like teams that have a little bit of diversity and problem solving behind them, because I think it helps raise their antennas about future potential attacks, and then also gives them that experience, right? So I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Forex, struggling, with his team like they did with the Animal Farm and the Piggy Bank. Makes them sharper for the future, right? We learn from our mistakes. I know that I do. That being said, when they went to launch, when Piston token went to launch yesterday morning, it was a big debacle, and they're having to relaunch again today. I had some dry powder set aside, to really kind of pour into that project as well. I don't think that they have the team or the talent right now, and I'm not going to risk it for the biscuit with that, right? So I'm going to I got 306 or 309 Piston tokens that, through my first two pre-sales. Just going to leverage that, and I'll share with you my philosophy and what I'm going to do there in a second. But that being said, I decided to, the money I had set aside, decided to pour back into the King, the tried and true, even though they're having the issues that they're remediating with the piggy bank and the Animal Farm. But so that being said, I basically bought another about 32 drip, which, again, at this price, when I first bought in, it was at 100 or over $100, right? So I'm really helping myself with dollar cost averaging by compounding, and then also with what I got yesterday. And then I also, when I get to the drip garden, I'll tell you what I did there as well. But so anyway, just to give you a heads up, I've been compounding about every 0.2 on here, again, just to get into the hyper compounding mode. And obviously this bump that I had here, I should be with that 200, shortly. So I'll go ahead and compound there. And then I also took I took a fourth of that and bought some of what I had set aside that I was going to pour into Piston token, poured into, like I said, the drip directly. I took another fourth and I poured into Drip Garden, which I'll show you. And then I took another fourth, which one of my strategies and goals is for recurring compounding passive income is to get B&B as well. So went into the faucet as well, and added one B&B there, which I'll show you. You probably can't see it, but I've been every 0.001. I've been hyper compounding here as well. I haven't taken anything out, as you can see, the 30 compounds, and it'll grow slowly. But again, this is really more to help the drip network and the floor of drip itself. So that being said, again, it put me up obviously a lot higher in terms of what I'm earning on drip. The other big thing that we'll cover here is that I had some dry powder, like $80, and then another $100 that I put into the drip garden. But I also put a fourth of what I had set aside and got over like 1,700 plants, which I bumped me up, which is going to be really, really helpful here, right? So we're getting ready to compound here in a second, and I'll go ahead and show you, and that'll put us over that 8,000 plants milestone. And we'll, let you kind of witness that. But, I want you to look at some stats here after I do this as well. Actually, we'll do this real quick right now, right? So you can see I'm up to 182 a day, and again, that'll bump up with the price movement up or down with the price movement of drip and the drip BUSD LP pair. But the LP is critical here, right? You can see right now per day, I'm at 9.17, right? And the stat that is really, I think, telling here is how much this one right here, the 1 LP ratio in terms of what you get. Basically, if you look at this 0.276, and some change here, drip is what it takes you, is what you get with 1 LP. So for every 4 LP, I'm a little bit over 1 drip that I'm earning, right? And then so basically, you can times this 850, so it'd be $734 that you get here, and then 1 drip. Want to go back up here. I'm earning 9.17 a day, so I'm earning over 2 drip a day with having almost 8,000 plants. Now you think about that, right? It takes me quite a bit more over in drip to do that, and that's partly because of the interest rate here. So again, I think I shared with you my goal that I want to get to where I'm 100 grand a month in BUSD, and I'm going to keep and hold on to the drip that's being generated from this when I do actually cash out here. So anyway, and take some profits. So that's that. But let's go over. I think that I'm crossed over here. I did. So the beautiful thing is too is that I'm down to every 5 minutes or so generating a plant, right? And we'll look at this real quick. I don't care about the cost there that this will cost me here to show you. But again, I'm over 11 plants an hour, moving up to 12. I really want to get to that 1440, which is 1 plant a minute, right? We'll get there. So let's go ahead and jump over here. We're going to actually compound. Let me just refresh this. We'll compound this, and then you can actually see, and then we'll go update the calculator too. You can see the 797. Let me go ahead and plant these seeds. And again, I'm going to try and get you guys out of here in a reasonable fashion here. Go ahead and move back up, let this compound, and then you can actually witness my 8,000 plants. And there's folks that are bigger than me, but again, I'm moving on up, right? Moving up that, and I'll show you that trajectory that we're on here with this journey in terms of what I'm doing. But okay, there you go, 8,025. So let's pop over to the calculator and update this, right? And again, you guys know I do it in units because you're earning in units, not in money, and that money fluctuates, right? 8025 interest rate. And I know some people say it's 3.3, but I'm being conservative here, and I'm 3.0518. 3.0518. We'll compound this. This is going to start getting crazy, and you guys are witnessing me do this real time, right? So let me do this daily, because now that I, invested more in here, you're going to see, and I think it may, because I'm hyper compounding, by Friday at the latest, I'll be up over 9,000, and I'll do another video there. But now you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 days before I hit, another 1,000. Then once I hit 10,000, it's 3 days before I hit 11,000. 3 days before I hit 12,000. 3 days before I hit 13,000, and then 2 days at 13,000, 2 days at 14,000, 2 days at 15,000. You can see what I'm getting at here, right? And then 16, 17, 18, 19, and when we get to 20 and 21, it's going to start being 1,000 a day, right? And that's where we really start moving here. So by the end of May, man, this thing is going to really start cooking, and that's what we want. So regardless of how slow or low you start, I encourage you just to keep compounding. My son, who's 15, by the time he and a freshman, he just put another $200 of his own hard-earned cash. He referees, plays basketball, track, and played football this year, but also cleans toilets with his grandfather on the weekends, and earns money. So this is hard-earned cash, and he is investing his own money, and he wanted to invest in the drip guard. He's been listening to these videos whenever I have to run him to practice, and and kind of understands it and gets it. And I think before he's a senior, he's going to have more money than a lot of these teachers are making at the school that he's going to. So this thing does work. It can work. And I encourage you just to keep compounding. And if you've thought about starting a YouTube channel, I encourage you to do it, and then, help your own self, right? Click like. You don't have to, I'm not going to ask you to smash the like button. Again, I encourage you to smash incompetence, stupidity, and laziness. And that if you're going to smash anything, that's what you should be smashing. But all those other YouTubers that are out there putting in a lot of hard work, go ahead and give them a like, right? Because it helps the algorithms on whatever social media platform you're on push out our content to other people who are interested in investing, which is only going to help your bottom line with your investment of drip here. So anyway, I'm going to, skip past this now that you've seen me do this. And again, I want to try and end this fairly quickly, but there's something else down here that I really think that I wanted to share with you that I put out there, and that's Dave Chappelle is my new bestie. So I think if you watched my last video, I was down in Florida, which is why I didn't get another one out there last week. It just didn't feel like doing it. Plus, like I said, I've told you before, not only am I not your dog walker's cousin's friend, your optometrist, your OB-GYN, I'm not your uncle, I'm not your friend, and I am also not your janitor, and I don't work for you. I don't work for anybody. I don't want bosses. That's the whole thing. And I'm definitely not your financial advisor, right? I'm just some dude on YouTube that you're listening to and watching, and I'm showing you this stuff. But do your own research, know what you can afford to lose, and I'll get into this last piece here, right? In terms of, I'm kind of flip-flopping here before I share my Dave Chappelle story, but crypto, as Stunner Breezy says, is a solo sport, just like salvation is a solo sport. You're not going, anything I do is not necessarily for you, right? And I can't save your soul. That's all on you. Investing in crypto and your salvation is all on you, period, right? And so, but it's also lonely, right? And so I think seeing other people and watching their journeys is encouraging, right? Watching them compound, even if you're starting out with a couple hundred plants, right? And doing that and sharing that with other people is encouraging. But it's lonely because not everybody wants to talk about crypto, and they look at you, and I know this for a fact, like you're into some kind of scam, or they just don't understand it, or they're just intellectually lazy and don't want to do anything and don't want to change their situation in life, right? I know guys, and actually who I've talked to about this personally, who are making between 250 and 500 grand a year, and they're complaining when their XRP $350, investment went down, from when they bought in $1.60 to sub, $1. After I told them that there's, 70, 80, 90% swings, right? And they're freaking out about that. So, again, I just leave it alone now. I try not to help people. I don't try not to help people, but I don't help people unless they kind of beg me to help. And I'm just putting out this YouTube content. So again, take this for what it is. I'm not your friend. I'm not here asking you for anything. I'm not going to have another Telegram or Discord channel where I'm trying to charge them. I'm not asking you for anything. I mean, if you need a referral, you can use the ones that I have here, but you don't have to. There's other people that are going to probably give, airdrops more than once at the end of the month too, whatever. I don't really need it. I believe in this enough where I don't. So I'm not asking you for anything. So where I stand from the get-go. So take this for what it's worth. I am just a data point for you to help you, seek further information to help you make your decisions for your own personal self. So anyway, that being said, I skipped ahead. My Dave Chappelle story. So again, we drove down. I don't like flying anymore just because I can't stand the cattle herding of the airlines. I don't like being locked up in a plane with all the sickness and disease that's out there. And I'll leave it at that. So we stopped in Atlanta, and this year I decided to just kind of splurge a little bit. We stayed at the Waldorf, and again, I'm not rolling it like that yet. I will be, but again, like I mentioned in one of my prior videos, I'm rich. I'm just not liquid yet. But I went ahead and spent a little bit of extra money. So the night over on the way down, we stayed at the Waldorf and in Buckhead, and then on the way back we stayed as well. So on the way back, on that Friday, we stopped in, and my wife and daughter and I went over to the restaurant Maggiano's there, grabbed a meal, and then as we came back, who should walk out at the same time we were walking in but Dave Chappelle. And I said, "Hey, Mr. Chappelle, good luck." and he was going out for his show. And again, I had no idea he was staying there. I kind of looked this up, but I knew he was probably going to do a show, right? And he kind of just looked at me, didn't really make eye contact with me because, I'm still steerage class, even though, I'm staying at the same hotel as him. But he had a cigarette in his hand and wasn't lit, had two, I don't know, homies or, bodyguards. I don't know who they were, but he just kind of glanced over in my general direction, didn't make eye contact, and gave me a head nod and the cigarette gesture. So we're not besties, but, I'm not a fanboy. I didn't ask him for an autograph. I don't do that. I don't ask grown men for their autographs or signatures. Didn't ask for a selfie or anything like that. Let my man go and do his business. He was in the zone, obviously going to perform. He is a comedic genius. So I was a little bit, again, I'm not typically a fanboy. I'm a little bit of a fanboy of Dave Chappelle. So anyway, that's my Dave Chappelle story. We are not besties. He does not know that I exist, even though he kind of gave me that sideways glance and didn't even really look at me, but it gave me some acknowledgement. So anyway, that's going to be it. Listen, be generous, hang in there, keep compounding. There's a lot of paper-handed noodle arms out there who are selling because they didn't do their own research. A lot of these cats are going to get in on this drip at this price too. It's going to skyrocket and take off, and they're going to be, I'll quote Jim Harbaugh after his comment about the Ohio State coach after their win over Ohio State this year after many years of losses here, right? But he's like, referring to the Ohio State coach who took over for Herb, who I can't stand at Ohio State, but he's like, some guys were born on third base and think they hit a triple. And I think there's a lot of you who have not gone through the bear markets of crypto here in the crypto winters, and are going to come in here, make a lot, and think that you're a genius, but really have no idea about the volatility. And then when something goes down, like Drip's price has gone down, you have those paper-handed noodle arms and you just sell, which is okay with me because all you're doing is funding all of us who are patient and keeping our funds here, right? So go ahead and day trade, go ahead and freak out and do that, because all you're doing is funding me, baby. You're funding my stays at the Waldorf. You're going to be funding my Audi S8 that I'm going to get at some point in time. I'm not a Lambo guy. I think they're kind of ugly and boxy. I'm more of a Ferrari guy if I'm going to get one. And honestly, I'd get a Porsche 911 Carrera twin turbo. Anyway, that's beyond the point. I'm ranting and rambling on here. So be generous is what I'm saying. Tip people well. They're working hard, short staffed. Be kind to people. Your life is going to change. If you're taking the step to do this, your life is going to change. And be consistent, get up early, do your thing consistently every day, compound, hyper compound, and you'll be surprised at where you'll be in a month, and then in 3 months, 6 months, and a year. And that's going to be it. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys hopefully at the 9,000 mark. And we'll go from there, and we'll talk to you later.